But here's the thing.
Mr. Taylor!
Boss, you can't just sneak up on me like that.
Chris, I'm everywhere. I really can't sneak up on you when I'm everywhere.
Okay, that's a good point. How's it going?
Okay, Taylor, I've been watching what you've been doing lately, and you don't totally suck at this.
Thanks, I think.
Yes, well, I think it's time for the real reason I hired you.
The real reason?
Yes. Those other topics, the Sith, the NetSpeak, those were just warm-ups.
Okay, so what's the job then?
This is the new year, Taylor, and I think it's time that you defended me.
You? How the Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Taylor, and today I'm going straight to the source, advocating for the Big D himself. Since the dawn of time, mankind has thrown all sorts of hatred and rhetoric at the man they call Satan. He's the source of all evil, they say. No man, woman, or child is safe from his sinful ways. But today, I'm gonna do the thing that I love most and prove you all wrong. And not just because I want to keep this job.
Permission to say lawyered? I'll allow it. Lawyered.
So let's start at the beginning. Not just the beginning of this series, but all the way back to the beginning of time. If you're a Bible thumper. Genesis, starring Adam and Eve. So there they were, just chilling in the Garden of Eden. Adam lying down all bored and naked. Eve standing close to a tree, just waiting. Neither of them with a care in the world, or a thought of their own. Take note of that, kids, because it's quite important. But then, a serpent comes along and convinces Eve to do the only thing that God said never to do.
My name is Eve. And just so we get the whole irony thing out of the way,
eat a fruit from the tree of knowledge. So, she takes a few bites, then rushes over to her man and makes him do the very same thing. Suddenly, they're embarrassed at their nudity. They feel shame and worse, fear for violating God's one rule. Naturally, this original sin made God, in his infinite wisdom, punish us all. Because of the serpent, the devil, Satan in disguise.
One family's extraordinary power to change their appearance.
And so, God is good, Satan is bad, and humans fall somewhere in the middle. However, I personally do not see things that way. The serpent saw that Adam and Eve were not only without clothes, but without any true meaning. There was action, but no thought behind it, no determination. Nothing to give those actions any form of reason. And thus, he gave us knowledge, the power to think and act not as puppets to his great needs.
I got no strings to hold me down, to make me fret or make me frown.
But for ourselves. In modern times, we seek out and absorb knowledge. We yearn for learning in all forms. We look up to those who are more successful than we are. And why? Because we know, see that first 4 letters of knowledge right there, that they have acquired abilities and experience beyond our own. The apple wasn't a sin. It was a gift. The gift of free thought, the ability of free will to act on our own terms and learn from our mistakes, to grow and change, to improve. We can wax poetical about the Bible all day long, but I do want to point out one final detail. Within those divine pages, which are about as feeble as tracing paper, there are entire chapters dedicated to God wiping people out. People he disagrees with, people who neglect the teachings of the one and only Creator. The G-Man himself is responsible for countless deaths, diseases, famines, atrocities, and acts of vengeance upon those who oppose him. This being of divinity spends most of the Old Testament murdering people. And what a handicap!
Phenomenal cosmic power!
Versus us, the feeble mortals inhabiting this earth. The devil? He's directly responsible for maybe 2 deaths in the entirety of the holy texts, if that.
You probably deserve it.
What wasn't accomplished by God was perpetrated by mankind. In life as we know it, we have a court system and laws for citizens to abide by. When someone repeatedly breaks the law or commits murder and is found guilty, it becomes harder to trust them. Harder for them to be able to find jobs or significant others and essentially do the things that we have deemed in our capacity of free will, thanks to the serpent, a success. In a fair court of divine law, we would judge them both based on their direct actions, not on their intentions, not on the long-term outcomes, but on their direct actions. And by my count, God has done more harm to the human race than the devil ever has. And yet, when someone wins an award or is in dire straits, who do they thank?
And I would like to thank God.
I thank God.
Well, we'll have to thank God.
Who do they pray to? The being who, as it has been written, was more likely than not the being that put them in that situation in the first place. Is that fair? Is that just? In my opinion, hell no. But alas, that brings me to my final point.
Well, it's about goddamn time.
See, heaven is a place of ultimate good, and hell is a place of ultimate evil, or so it's been told. Here on Earth, however, it's about balance. Not one overpowering the other, but instead, each being with the capacity for a mixture of both. But wait, you think to yourself, if God really is all-powerful, why doesn't he just wipe the devil out? Eliminate all evil from the world so that we all may have eternal, everlasting peace. Here's a question for you. If we didn't have evil, how would you know what was wrong? What was bad? As a society, we always compare ourselves to others, other people and their actions. We deem some to be good and others, well, less so. But the reason why is because of how it makes us feel. It's the comparison and opposition that determines what we think to ourselves about what is right and wrong. And it's the people who have done wrong that are the most interesting. We watch the villains in any movie, see their plots, watch as they fail. It's the same thing in video games too. We actively take part in thwarting evil. Without the devil, we wouldn't even know what evil was. And that's what the world needs. Opposition, an enemy, someone to strike down. It gives us something to strive for, a goal to accomplish. Without evil in the world, we wouldn't truly know what good was, because we'd have no basis for comparison. We would just exist, like Adam and Eve. No rhyme, no reason. Without the devil, we wouldn't know what evil was. It's merely two sides of the same coin, with humanity in the middle. So if anything, the church should be thanking the devil. After all, he's kept them in business all these years. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, I do hope I managed to shed some light into the Morning Star to show that he is necessary, whether it be in giving humans the gift of knowledge and free thought, or just in comparison to his exact opposite. I've always felt like you needed both good and evil for the world to keep on spinning. We are a people that craves balance, not just one or the other, which is why the devil shall always have a place on this planet. The yang to God's yin, so to speak. As always, feel free to let us know in the comments below what you think. Was I being too harsh on the creator? Maybe you think that nobody should play the advocate for the devil. By all means, bring up why, so that I may proceed to prove you wrong.
Kaboom! You've been lawyered.
But for now, In the case of Satan himself, the defense rests. Okay, how was that?
Serviceable, I suppose.
Okay, well, do you have any ideas on how to make it better?
Well, you're doing a lot of gaming episodes, so start gaming. Maybe get yourself a haircut, a different tie, I don't know.
Okay, well, how about you start paying me for this? Boss? Boss? Are you still there? Of course not.